It's Friday, April 11th, 1986. A two-man team of Army veterans wreak havoc on the city of Miami. By now, they had a series of armored trucks and banks, were well-equipped, well-trained, and very violent, mercilessly gunning down anyone who failed to comply with their demands. The actions of these two men caused the FBI to start up a guerrilla-style task force. And after a month-long investigation, the task force and the two criminals would cross paths in a suburban neighborhood, prompting one of the deadliest FBI shootouts in FBI history. You see, in 1985, crime in Miami was horrible, and the drug wars were growing. It even prompted President Ronald Reagan at the time to get involved. This also prompted the FBI to create the task force. You see, Michael Matix and William Platt met in the Army as military police officers and were well trained. Platt was an infantryman and Matix was a Marine who retrained into the Army. Both of these men were highly trained and very dangerous, and were inseparable until Matix decided to get out of the Army and get married. Platt, on the other hand, decided to start a landscaping business in Florida. After the two had been separated for some time, their brotherly bond couldn't keep them apart, eventually reconnecting. The irony is, by this time they were both married. However, both of their wives mysteriously died before they reconnected. Once reconnecting, they were living it up in Miami, while the FBI was steadily drawing up composite sketches of the two men. So even as the men were living it up in Miami, the FBI was waiting for reports from the DMV to come back, eventually enlisting the help of Special Agent Steve Grogan and Special Agent Ed Morales. April 11th, 1986, the FBI has initiated a sting operation to hunt down and capture the two criminals. What culminated next was all hell breaking loose in a suburb in Miami, Florida in 1986. Around 9:31 a.m., 14 FBI agents and 11 vehicles found the two suspects driving in South Dade in the Kendall neighborhood, and what culminated next was unimaginable. Once Grogan and Agent Dove spotted the Monte Carlo, it's suspected that Matix and Platt knew that they were being followed and subsequently began firing back, engaging in a firefight that spent over 145 shells. And after the smoke cleared,
after FBI agents fought a fierce battle for their lives in broad daylight, the curious still crowd into this Kendall community on Southwest 82nd Avenue and 122nd Street, who lay dead in the street yesterday, responsible for the wild shootout that left 2 agents dead and another 5 wounded. Still, it's not the only South Dade neighborhood dealing with shock today. Friends of William Matix can't believe it was their neighbor.
Once the FBI agents were able to box the suspects in, all of them crashed, culminating in the firefight. Immediately, Platt and Matix began firing upon the agents with high-powered rifles. Special Agent Gordon McNeil quickly recovered his .357, which was lost during the initial crash. He then sidelined Matix with a shot before being shot himself in the neck and then paralyzed. Special Agent Richard Manauzzi wasn't able to recover his weapon and then was shot in the head by Platt. Sadly, Special Agents Dove and Grogan were both killed. Next, Platt jumped into Grogan's vehicle and opened fire on Agent Morales. Keep in mind, these suspects have been shot multiple times themselves. At this point, Special Agent Gilbert Marinito returned fire with his .38 Special, being shot himself. Special Agent John Hamlin fired 5 rounds from his .38 Special until he was shot in the hand himself, and then Agent Morales was shot in the arm. However, he was able to return fire using his 12-gauge shotgun, rushing up to Grogan's car and incapacitating both Matix and Platt permanently. This incident changed the way the FBI equips its agents to this day. Grogan's wife and fellow special agent, Sandra Fitch, eventually moved on and remarried, and continued to serve the agency for many years longer until on September 9th, 2021, she passed away and was laid to rest next to her first husband, Benjamin Grogan. Special Agent Morales later wrote a book called The FBI Firefight. He was even commended by President Ronald Reagan at the time and continued his career until retiring. In the wake of the incident, an investigation determined that part of the reason the shootout was so deadly was that the robbers' automatic and semi-automatic guns had far outpowered the agents' own revolvers and handguns. What's more, only 2 of the agents had been wearing bulletproof vests, which were not strong enough to hold against the assailants' high-powered weapons. In closing, that was no condolence to the family of Jerry Dove and Benjamin Grogan. Rest in peace to these special agents. Please like, share, and subscribe to Where in the World is Frank and Gina on YouTube. You've just viewed Volume 4 of Deadly Police Chases and Encounters. God bless.